Hey friends, welcome. Today we're going to be getting into some homeschool things. I'm going to be sharing what we are using for our curriculum this year and doing an initial unboxing review and overview of the Good and the Beautiful Level 2 curriculum. We're going to be going into what that looks like for both language arts and math, and then sharing with you guys what we have planned for the upcoming school year. That way, if you too are considering the Good and the Beautiful, or maybe you have already chosen this curriculum, you can get a look at what that looks like. And I also have reviews and unboxings of all of the previous levels of the Good and the Beautiful, so preschool, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, first grade, a couple of different reviews. I always like to do an initial unboxing and an initial overview, and then as we get further into the curriculum, we do this again, and then I share a more thorough review. So go ahead and see what it's looking like for us this year. We love the Good and the Beautiful. I always purchase the physical copy except for 1 year, and after going through the work of trying to get everything printed and binded and all of that, I just decided that I would rather have had the physical copy, especially in the sense that I like that it comes with the Mnaipulatives for the math box as well as some of their story readers. So we'll get into all of that, but let's start here with a level 2 language arts course book. It covers phonics, writing, reading, grammar and punctuation, spelling, literature, geography, and art. This one is purple. It's still the spiral bound. The math is not. So we're going to see which one we prefer. With the spiral, I feel like it sometimes comes apart, but then I'm noticing with the binded one that it's perforated, so I'm hoping that the pages for that one don't fall out. And then we also have the handwriting. So as always, in the beginning, it tells you what you're going to be needing throughout the course, so that anything that you need to get before you dive in and get started, you can do that ahead of time. So for this one here, it's nothing out of the ordinary. Things to always have on hand was just like glue, tape, crayons, colored pencils, papers, pencils, scissors. They also say whiteboard or dry erase markers, so that might not be something that everyone has on hand. So they do say that that's something that you may want to have on hand. And then just personal reading books at your child's reading level, even though they recommend that when you're doing read alouds, you read books that are a level above your child's reading level. So for unit 1, it does have a couple of extra things that you might need, such as like a recording device or a timing device, word processing program, 2 quarters, cotton ball, index card, sticker spoon, tracing paper, watercolor paper, and paints, paintbrushes, and tissue. So few oddballs there. For unit 2, it has pretty much the same thing with the addition of a spoon, a butter knife, and a fork. Have that at home. And then for unit 3, it also adds 2 small rewards, a poster board or access to Google Slides, access to Google Maps, a small plastic sheet, and white paint. So that's pretty much everything you need for this entire curriculum. And then anything extra that you decide that you may want to add in as well, which we typically add on some like hands-on manipulative, like fake money for math. For this one, we have like a solar system kit. We're going to be using wooden like letters and things to spell out words to help us with spelling. Curriculum also does come with how-to videos. It comes with instructional videos for the student. It comes with a homeschool app and a letter tiles app for spelling, reading booster games, video books, all of this that go along with the curriculum. So that's really neat. So if you have a tablet, it will be helpful with this curriculum. These are the suggested coordinated readings or readers, which is the nature readers. So it says my first nature reader, my second one, and my third. We have the first one with first grade kindergarten, and then we had the second one with first grade, I believe. And so we're doing the third nature reader now for second grade. They're super, super cute. And then they also have the Africa readers as well. Here's the integrated letter tiles app. And then it tells you everything about the course preparation. It even has like a sample schedule. In a public school year, it's about 36 weeks, not including holidays and breaks. But if you do this with holidays and breaks included 4 to 5 days a week, you would complete this in 30 weeks. We typically do 5 days a week, and we typically finish ours up in about 5 to 6 months every time. It's so easy. But yeah, it goes more into not just the course, but the good and the beautiful as a whole. Here does have an answer key. It is broken up into units. So there are 3 units with 40 lessons in each unit for a total of 120 lessons. It has a lot of poetry here, is what I'm noticing for sure with this one. Lots of poetry, more letter sounds, sentence practice. Definitely has a little bit, just a little bit of Christian aspects in it. Not a lot. You would definitely want to supplement with your own devotion if you would like to. We always do for Bible study practice and things like that, more syllable practice, some review of what was already learned, more spelling practice, adjectives, root words, synonyms, antonyms, geography, things that a sentence must have, phonograms, homophones, heteronyms, plural nouns, messages and books, oral narration, more poetry, verbs, subject, short stories, decoding natural disasters, American folklore, and spelling rules, irregular plural noun, as well as possessive nouns. There's a lot in here. So grammar, usage, and punctuation, as I mentioned, art, geography, literature, and writing, phonics, reading, spelling. It's all in here. So yeah, so far, really beautiful. It also breaks down what each of the cards covers and includes as well. These are the booster cards. I'll show you. These are the Reading Booster C cards. So you get A with kindergarten, B with first grade, and C with second grade. These are the things that help them to learn how to read. I love them. You can always keep them on hand. So it has the Master Before You Begin section, per usual, which just has sight words, vowels, short and long sounds, and the long sounds of Y, like I and E as in baby. So they just want to make sure that your child can read these sight words without hesitation. And then also in the beginning of the curriculum itself, it wants your child to be able to read this paragraph or short story in 2 minutes or less. Those are some things that you could practice before you get started, and then it dives right in. It has some spelling review from the lower level courses, as well as 6 new spelling words for Unit 1, and then you'll get new spelling words for each one. The first one is super easy. It does tell you here that in this curriculum, there's definitely a lot of focus on poetry in this curriculum, and it tells you that in the beginning and explains why it's so much throughout here. I'm noticing each lesson is, per usual, only about 2, sometimes 3 pages long. In the beginning is very, very short, like 1 or 2 pages. But as you get further into it, let's see, I don't know, they're still looking pretty short. So what I am noticing is that the page itself has a bit more in-depth reading, but yeah, either 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 pages. And then there's the reviews, some very beautiful illustrations throughout, per usual. That's one thing we love about the Good and the Beautiful. It's just an initial unboxing and review, and it's pretty similar to all of the ones in the past, except for the new things being taught. The booster reading cards have a lot more poetry in them, but other than that, they look pretty much the same. And then here is the third nature reader. The nature reader has 22 stories in them, and then these all go with the booster cards and the curriculum as well. I do notice that the stories for this are definitely a bit longer than the ones inside of the first and second nature readers. And then instead of having the individual booklets to read along for the booster books with the curriculum itself. The booster books are gone, and now there is just 2 chapter books, which is really great. We have Wesley and the Wolves by Jenny Phillips and Molly and the Falcon by Maggie Taylor. So first you would start with Wesley and the Wolves, I believe. Yeah. And they again go with the curriculum. So for instance, this one is practicing the qua sound level lesson 1, and the curriculum is also practicing the qua sound, as well as the second booster C card, also practicing the qua sound. So we like to start off with our booster cards, do our curriculum, and then end it with a chapter or a book that coincides with it. So color on the pictures, just plain illustrations, but it's good. It says, in this timeless tale, Wesley is a cheerful, good-hearted boy, but he likes to tease. When his teasing brings serious consequences, the villagers no longer trust him. So how can he gain their trust again? Wesley wants to solve this problem, even if it takes hard work. He also wants to solve mysteries about 2 items he found: a key and a hidden door in a mountain. Kids will love following Wesley's story while learning new reading skills along the way. So that's what this one is about. And then after you finish that one, you move on to Molly and the Falcon, and then it picks up from wherever you left off on here. It picks up on in here as far as like the lesson that you're on. So this one picks up with letter sounds UI and UE. So this one is when Molly and her dad find an injured falcon. They can never guess the new experiences that are about to unfold. With the help of new friends, Molly learns about birds of prey and dedicates herself to nurturing the falcon back to health. When she and her friends find themselves in a dangerous situation, their survival skills are put to the test. Parents and children alike will love reading and learning side by side in this delightful and inspiring tale. So Molly and the Falcon, that is the 2 books that go along with the curriculum. Now for math, there is also 120 lessons split into 3 units, just the same. We always like to just kind of do them side by side so that we can finish them up about the same time. Also breaks it down, lets you know everything that you're going to be needing, the supplies that you're going to be needing as well. And here are some of the concepts that's going to be taught in the math level 2. Adding and subtracting 2-digit numbers, addition strategies, calendars, counting and writing money amounts, counting backwards, counting coins and bills, dividing in half, doubles, addition and subtraction, dozen and half dozen, estimating equivalent coins, greater than, less than, equal, identify AM and PM, identifying right numbers to 1,000, identify noon and midnight, identify odd and even numbers, logic, measure inches, number lines, number order, one more or one less, ordinal positions, patterns, place value to 1,000, regrouping, rounding to the nearest 10, skip counting by 2s, 3s, 5s, 10s, 25s, and 50s, spelling number words up to 15, story problem, subtraction strategies, tally marks, telling times up to 5 minutes, time conversions, time expressions, 0 as a placeholder. Extra supplies needed for Unit 1 is a bowl and some scissors. So we purchased the place value 10 blocks because I think that it might be helpful to have with this curriculum, because lesson 1 dives straight into place value. The lessons are about 3 pages, so 2 pages, but the second page front and back kind of. So 3 pages basically is what I'm noticing for pretty much all the way straight through, so not too time consuming. We typically could finish up a math lesson within 25 to 30 minutes. Another thing that we also like to keep on hand is our wooden clock, because it's also helpful. It does include like little cardboard clocks, but my son, he thoroughly enjoys using like a large like a wooden clock, so we've gotten that one. We have some play money, and we have the 10 blocks. So those are some of the things that we're going to be using to go along with our math curriculum, but it also does include this here box, which I actually have not opened up yet to even see what's inside of here. So let's check this out. So it has a clock with movable arms, 2 fraction dice, 1 10-sided dice, 4 aircraft manipulatives, a set of coins, a set of play money, and 10-star manipulatives is what's in here. But yeah, everything is just cardboard. So this is the clock, which is very easy to pull out if you really just need to pull it out. You don't have to look around a large one. We just like to have that type of stuff. Like I said, you don't need it. And then the money is also really like small, as you can see. Doesn't have any faces on there either. Just a dollar sign in the middle. These are so tiny that we have to keep them away from baby girl who is a year old. These are like choking hazards, but there's that. And cardboard money. Then these are tiles and the fraction dice, and even the dice is really small. So everything is here. You can definitely use this. The curriculum is very affordable, especially compared to other curriculum on the market. I believe it was $180 for all of this. For the math, the language arts, and the handwriting came out to $180. And it comes with and that's with the nature reader and handwriting, as mentioned. So like I said, it's pretty affordable. I think that the math was like $60 and the language arts was like $80. I'm gonna list the actual price because I could be getting this wrong. The handwriting might have been like $15. Then the nature reader might be $13. But so yeah, I know that this here doesn't have like the utmost quality manipulatives inside of it, but for the price point, I'm gonna throw this away because this is also very dangerous for baby girl. That's why I left it out, because I need to throw it away immediately. But the price point matches the curriculum, the beautifulness of it, the quality. I never feel like my child is behind or missing out on anything. I feel like he gets what he needs, and it's not neck breaking and difficult. We don't have to fight and argue over it. In fact, it's by grade 4, it becomes more independent. They expect that by level 4, your child is doing pretty much independent work and you're kind of just overseeing it. So there is some motivation for you if you're a homeschool mom and you're like, oh, this is harder. If you haven't started homeschooling yet and you're wondering, can you do this? I highly recommend the Good and the Beautiful curriculum because it's very easy to follow, especially for first-time homeschoolers. And then you can always transition to something else if you want to, or if once you have more time on your hands. I am a mom of 2. I have a 1-year-old baby girl, and therefore my time is not what it used to be. So I love the Good and the Beautiful for that. That it's grab and go. You can take it anywhere with you. We are traveling to Florida next month, or actually at the end of this month. We are going to be packing this curriculum up in the car and taking it with us to Florida. So I love that about this curriculum. It's completely free to print this curriculum. You can print it for free, the language arts and the math, and use it that way. You don't have to purchase it at all if you don't want to. You can literally print all of this out for free at home. You can use the readers on like a Kindle or a tablet, that way, whatever, you know. So I love that as well about the Good and the Beautiful. It's very affordable as well. But yes, if you I literally lost my train of thought. What I was going to say is that if you like, how can I do this? It's going to be hard. Pick your heart. It is a little hard to begin with, but I've always noticed that towards the end of this curriculum, my son doesn't need to depend on me as much as he does in the beginning, because he has pretty much almost mastered all of the stuff in here almost. So like things start to get easier. He gets into his flow. It gets easier for all of us. The lessons are short as well. You can double up if you need to. And then again, just that thought of, hey, for 5 years, like the preschool and the kindergarten, and then 1st through 3rd grade, for 5 years, yes, you have to be homeschooling your child, like standing over their shoulder for just 1 to 2 hours a day, or as little or as much as you want to. For us, it's typically about an hour and a half at this point now, but it used to only be 30 minutes and that went to an hour. So, it goes up. But once you get past those 5 years, it does get a little bit less dependent, or it's said to. I know I'm not there yet, but I'm already starting to notice that it's easier today than it was when we were doing preschool and kindergarten. So it gets easier is what I'm trying to say. We are also doing the Science for Little Hands and Heart curriculum that goes up to grade 3. It's a beautiful curriculum. I talked a lot about that curriculum in all of my past Good and the Beautiful curriculum reviews, so you can definitely check those out if you want to see more of that. But here is the handwriting for level 2. They used to have these small, like, half booklets for, like, the kindergarten and preschool handwriting and everything, which was handwriting for littles. But I love that now they're full on curriculums, full on workbooks. It does have, like, the number practice in here as well, so let's talk about everything in here. We already actually did the first page. So it's 40-point font, writing letters and numbers, writing short words, tracing words and sentences, and spelling and numbers, some drawing, some poems, spelling the colors and the numbers, lots of picture and art practice. And then at the end of it, you get a congratulations certificate of completion. This one has about 103 pages. Yeah, 103 pages. So, yeah, it's pretty, honestly, simple and straightforward, this curriculum. Not colorful or anything. You add your own color, plenty of areas to color. But this is what we're doing for level 2. I will go more in depth in this as we go through the curriculum, give you guys an update of how things are going, how I feel about the curriculum once we've dived into it. But just for an unboxing and an overview and an idea of what we're going to be doing, this is it. We are still going to be going through our safety curriculum because we didn't complete it. So I talked about the Good and the Beautiful health and safety curriculum, which is very beautiful. I love that curriculum. Check that out as well. I will link that video down below for you guys, as well as the video where I talk more about the science for the little hearts and hands. That's everything that we're going to be doing to start, along with our daily Grace Company devotions. So let me know what you guys are doing with homeschool this year. I hope that you guys found this video to be helpful and that you enjoyed it. If you are a homeschool parent, I would love for you to subscribe. But also, I'm always sharing homemaking content, cleaning, days in the life, grocery haul, shopping hauls, home organization, homemaking, motherhood, all of the things. I would love to have you over here. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. That's going to be all for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy homeschooling.